The Galactic Council chamber was quiet now. Too quiet. The screen had gone black, but the memory of the footage still echoed in every mind. Alien leaders shifted in their seats. Some wiped sweat from their brows. Others glanced nervously at the doors, as if expecting humans to come storming in. But they didn't. Instead, the screen lit up again. Continue playback? Yes/no. No one moved. Then one of the aides accidentally pressed yes. The footage returned, this time to a meeting room, recorded 3 days before the vote to ban Earth. It was a private session. No official cameras. No press. But somehow, the humans had the full recording. In the video, the human ambassador, Cole, sat at the center of the long table. Around him were 10 other council members, all from major powers. Cole spoke first. We've detected unknown signals near the edge of the void. These patterns don't match any known race. We believe something is coming, something old. He handed out data pads. We don't want fear. We want to prepare. Together. The council members didn't even look at the files. One leaned back in his chair and laughed. You humans always believe the sky is falling. Another hissed. This again. First it was warlords. Then pirates. Now, ghost from the void. Cole's voice stayed calm. We have recordings. Energy spikes. Missing ships. We've seen movement in dark space. Something is out there. A blue-scaled alien scoffed. You just want to scare us into giving Earth more power. Then came the final insult. You Earth-born apes are always afraid of the dark. It's because your planet is so small. Laughter followed. Cole didn't laugh. He closed his datapad and stood up. We're not asking for power. We're offering protection. The laughter grew louder. One counselor even threw the human report into a trash bin. Here's our vote, Earthmen. Cole didn't react. He gave a slight bow. Then I hope, for your sake, that your shields are strong. The playback stopped. The real council chamber sat in complete silence. One of the leaders, a tall insectoid named Drex, finally broke the silence. That footage was private. How did they get it? Another, a lizard-like creature named Rovtal, looked pale. They must have had a device in the room, maybe hidden in the ambassador's clothes. But someone else pointed out something more terrifying. That meeting was held in the secure wing, inside the High Command Dome. Everyone turned toward him. That room was shielded against all recording devices, all surveillance. Nothing should have made it out. Unless they already had access to our systems, someone whispered. The idea was chilling. Could the humans have hacked the Council's core network without anyone noticing? If so, what else did they see? What else did they record? Suddenly, a new video began playing, this time from inside a council bar. The setting was casual, relaxed. It was the night after the vote. Several council members sat drinking strange liquids, laughing together. One alien said, I still can't believe we finally banned them. Took us long enough. Another replied, let's see how long they last without our tech. Maybe they'll go back to fighting each other. More laughter. A third alien said with a grin, give them a few months. They'll be begging to return, or they'll wipe themselves out again. One counselor raised a glass. To a human-free galaxy. Everyone toasted. The humans had this footage too. And now, so did the entire council. Back in the chamber, many leaders looked ashamed. A few lowered their heads. Others looked around, as if waiting for judgment. But there was more. A short clip played. Ambassador Cole walking to his shuttle after the ban. Reporters yelled questions at him. Ambassador, any comments on the vote? What will Earth do next? Cole turned slightly and said one line. We came in peace. We leave in silence. Then he entered the ship and disappeared. The playback ended. Nothing more. Just silence. No threats. No warnings. But everyone in the room now felt the weight of their mistake. They didn't just ban Earth. They insulted it, mocked it, underestimated it, and now they were watching the results. One alien leader stood up and said what everyone was thinking. If this was only a message, what will the real answer look like? Outside the council station, more human probes appeared. Still watching. Still waiting. The silence was louder than war. The battle was over. The council's fleet had retreated, broken and confused. Kara 7 was quiet again, but the war was far from finished. Commander Elin Raz stood on a snowy hill, looking at the stars. Her voice was calm but strong. This is a new beginning. The galaxy will never see humans as they did before. Mira and Juno joined her, tired but smiling. Mira said, "We showed them the truth. They can't ignore us anymore." Juno added, "We are not just survivors. We are a force." Across the galaxy, broadcast continued. Humans shared their history, their courage, and their hope. More ships joined the fight. Old allies returned. New friends appeared. The Council's lies were exposed, and the galaxy was waking up. On the Galactic Council's capital, High Chancellor Vareen faced a difficult truth. His empire was shaken. He said quietly, "We must change, or we will lose everything." Back on Kara 7, the underground base was alive with new energy. People repaired ships, trained fighters, and prepared for the future. Mira looked out into space again. She whispered, "They tried to erase us, but they failed." Ilan smiled. "The human ban is over. The real story has begun." And so, the galaxy saw a new dawn. One where humans were no longer mocked or banned. One where humans were respected. One where humans led. Outside the Galactic Council station, the human probes just floated. They didn't send messages. They didn't fire weapons. They just watched. Silent, cold, still. But their presence screamed one thing: "We see you." Inside the council chambers, tension hung heavy in the air. Some members demanded answers. Why didn't anyone take the humans seriously? Others stayed quiet, watching the screen, waiting for something worse. But the real question wasn't about the footage. It was about what was coming next. 3 weeks earlier, on the edge of the Orion cluster, a quiet human science station had picked up a strange signal. It was a sound, not natural. It echoed like a scream through deep space. The humans didn't panic. They studied, measured, compared. Then they sent the data to the council. That message was short. Unknown signal pattern. Source approaching known space. Request joint scan and analysis. The council didn't respond. Instead, they sent back a cold message. Earth is no longer part of the Galactic Union. You are not authorized to transmit reports. The humans waited a day. Then sent one last line. We are not looking for permission. We're warning you. No one listened. The council believed Earth was bluffing. Again, they had always called humans too emotional or too dramatic. They thought Earth just wanted attention, or power, or control. So they ignored the signal. They ignored the footage. And worst of all, they ignored the silence that followed. But Earth didn't stop. They activated a fleet, not a war fleet, but an exploration group of old ships, civilian vessels, research cruisers, lightly armed, but fast. Their name: the Watchers. Each one was equipped with deep-range scanners, energy shields, and stealth tech. And every single one of them disappeared. Gone. No signals. No debris. No survivors. In the Council's private database, never shared with the public, there was a growing list of strange reports. Trade ships vanishing near black sectors. Drone fleets going dark after reaching Zone A9. Unmarked objects drifting towards civilized worlds. One entry stood out. Fleet 17 went to investigate a ghost signal near Sector Edge 11. 23 ships. All gone in 12 minutes. No distress beacons. Only static left behind. The report ended with a chilling line. We recommend sending humans. They've seen this before. That message was filed under Ignore. And Earth knew. Back in the present, more footage appeared on the screen in the council chamber. It was blurry, shaky, taken from a helmet cam. The scene showed a dark, broken human ship floating in space. Its hull was cracked open. Lights flickered. A small rescue drone entered slowly. Then, movement. A shape, huge, unnatural, shifted just beyond the light. The drone's camera went static, then black. That was it. But the screen flashed again, showing a new message. This is what we tried to warn you about. You laughed. Now it's here. Signed, United Earth Command. The council room exploded in argument. Why didn't we act sooner? Is this real or human trickery? Why are they showing us this now? One alien shouted, because we banned them. We disrespected them. We didn't just close the door, we slammed it in their face. Another hissed in fear. What if they're not showing us the enemy, but themselves? Silence. Meanwhile, on Earth, Ambassador Cole stood in a dark room beneath the Human Defense Command Center. Around him were scientists, generals, and leaders. A new map was displayed on the screen. Dots blinked red across the galaxy. One human officer said, "They still think we're waiting." Cole answered quietly, "We are, but not for them. We're watching the shadows." The officer nodded. "Do we go public?" Cole shook his head. "No, not yet. Let the council sweat. Let them wonder. We warned them. They ignored it. Now, they'll have to choose. Fight beside us, or die alone." Back on the Galactic Council Station, another message appeared. Short, sharp, clear. "They are coming. We are not your enemy, but if pushed, we will not hold back." Earth was no longer asking for trust. It was offering a last chance. And the question now was, would the Council take it or continue to ignore the message? The Galactic Council Station felt frozen. After the human footage, after the warning, no one said a word for a long time. For the first time in decades, the Great Chamber was filled with silence. Not speeches, not shouting, not jokes about humans. Just fear. Outside, the stars looked peaceful. But inside every mind was the same thought. What have we done? High above council space, in the shadow of the Deltar moon, 3 ships floated. No one had seen them arrive. No warning. No signal. They weren't on any galactic maps. They didn't carry any flags. And yet, everyone knew who they belonged to. Earth. The ships were large, old, and quiet. Their hulls were covered in battle scars. They weren't shining like the Council's golden fleets. They weren't elegant. They were real, built for one thing: survival. Inside one of them, the UNIS Charon, Commander Sarah Holt stood by the window, staring at the Council planet below. Her voice was calm. "Do they know yet?" Her second-in-command nodded. "They've seen the footage. They've read the warnings. Still nothing." Sarah didn't move. She just kept watching the planet below. "They still think this is about them." They're wrong. Back in the Council chamber, panic was rowing. Counselor Drax from the Vorsic Empire slammed the table. "They are threatening us. This is an act of war." Others disagreed. They warned us about something worse. Maybe they're trying to help, but no one could agree. The fear of Earth's return had already broken them apart. Some called for peace talks. Some called for war. Some just wanted to run. Far away, in a quiet lab on Earth's moon, an old scientist looked through a cracked screen. He was the first to see it. A pattern in the static. A message buried in the noise. Not human. Not alien. Something else. He ran the signal through every known system. It didn't match anything. Not from Earth. Not from the Council. Not from any past war. It was new. And ancient. The computer translated 3 simple words. "We are near." The scientist stared at it. Then whispered, "This isn't about humans anymore." At that same moment, across dozens of Council-controlled planets, strange things began to happen. Satellites blinked out for no reason. Shields dropped for a few seconds, then came back online. Data files were rewritten with strange symbols. programs refused to follow orders, and then reactivated, pretending nothing happened. People blamed glitches. They blamed Earth. But none of them knew the truth. It wasn't Earth, and Earth knew it. Back aboard the Charon, Commander Holt received a direct message from the Human Defense Command. She read the screen quietly, then said, "It's time." Her crew didn't cheer. They didn't speak. They simply moved. This was no longer about pride, no longer about revenge. This was about survival. Earth hadn't returned to conquer. They had returned because something worse was coming, and they were the only ones who still remembered how to fight it. At the edge of the galaxy, in the dark between stars, a signal echoed. Not light, not sound, something deeper, older, and with it came a shape. A ship, if it could even be called that. Its surface moved like water. Its lights pulsed like veins. It had no engines, no weapons, no windows. It floated as if space belonged to it, and behind it, more followed. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Their direction was clear. council space, and in the calm before the coming chaos, Earth stood alone, waiting, watching, prepared, because they had warned the galaxy, and the galaxy had laughed. Now, no one was laughing. The stars stretched before them like an endless sea. Mira stared ahead, her hands tight on the controls. Her ship was damaged, scorched from the Hunter drone's attack, but it still flew. Behind her sat Juno, the old memory keeper. He watched her in silence for a long time, then finally spoke. "You don't understand what you've started, do you?" "I started nothing," Mira said. "The council did, when they buried the truth." Juno gave a dry laugh. "You sound like them. The old ones. The humans." Mira turned her head. "You knew them." Juno looked out the window. His voice dropped to a whisper. "I fought with them." Years ago, Juno had served in the old outer patrol fleets. Back then, humans were still around, few, but proud. Feared, yes, but also respected. He remembered their ships. Fast, strange, powerful. He remembered their warriors. Clever, wild, brave. They were different, Juno said. They didn't follow the galaxy's rules. They made their own. Mira listened carefully. "Then why did they lose?" she asked. Juno's eyes darkened. They didn't lose. They were erased, tricked, betrayed. The council had passed the ban after a false flag attack. A human fleet was blamed for destroying a peaceful colony. But the truth, buried deep, was that it had been the council's own secret agents. The humans had protested, fought, but in the end, outnumbered and surrounded, they'd vanished. Or so the galaxy believed. Juno opened a drawer in Mira's ship and pulled out an old map. Before they disappeared, humans made one last move, he said. They sent a message, a call to their own. A warning, a plan, a path. He tapped the map. A red symbol flashed. "This is where we'll find them, the ones who still remember." They reached a small ice planet hidden in the shadows of a dying star. It was called Keras 7, long forgotten on any star charts. The surface was silent. Cold winds, broken towers, long-buried ruins. But below the surface, lights flickered, doors opened, and eyes watched. As Mira and Juno entered the ancient underground complex, shapes moved in the darkness. Armed figures stepped out, humanoid, armored, silent. A tall figure removed its helmet. She was human, real, alive. Her voice was low and calm. "You brought the file, didn't you?" Mira nodded slowly. She took the chip from around her neck and held it out. The woman looked at Juno. "You always said it would resurface one day." Juno smiled, and now it has. The woman's name was Commander Elin Raz, one of the last of Earth's Shadow Guard. Her people had lived in hiding for generations, waiting for the truth to rise again. They called themselves the Hidden Ones. She led Mira and Juno deeper into the underground base. The walls were lined with old human tech, repaired, ready, waiting. Ellen spoke as they walked. "We knew one day someone would find the real file. We hid, but we trained. We remembered." Mira couldn't believe it. "You've been here the whole time." Ellen nodded. "And across other lost systems too. Not many of us left, but enough." Inside a command room, Ellen placed the file into an old Earth system. The screen lit up, playing the message from Admiral Rourke. All the humans in the room stood still, silent. Some had tears in their eyes. Others clenched their fists. When the message ended, Ellen turned to her people. "It's time." A soldier stepped forward. "To fight?" Ellen shook her head. "To broadcast. The galaxy forgot us. The council buried us. But now, they will remember." Later that night, Mira stood alone near a window that looked out into the stars. She still couldn't believe what she had found, what she had started. Juno stepped beside her. "You did good, kid." Mira smiled faintly. "I'm scared." "You should be." "Will they come for us again?" Juno nodded. "Always. But now, you're not alone." Mira looked out at the star field. Then she whispered the words that would echo across the galaxy. "Let the truth be seen." In the center of the galaxy, the Galactic Council stood tall. It was the most powerful government in the known universe. Aliens from hundreds of species filled its chambers. They sat in golden seats, wearing bright robes and shining medals. Every week, they passed new laws, gave speeches, and acted like rulers of peace and order. One day, a new law was announced on every screen across the galaxy. A deep voice echoed through the galactic broadcast network. By unanimous vote, humans are hereby banned from all council-controlled systems, effective immediately. At first, the news shocked many. Then, it became a joke. On alien news shows, colorful hosts laughed and made fun of the ban. Ha! Humans? Dangerous? They can't even fly without crashing half the time. Please, the only thing they ever conquered was their own planet. Barely. On social media, aliens posted videos mocking humans. Some dressed up like Earthlings, holding fake weapons made of rubber. They ran around screaming in fake English accents, acting like fools. Others showed clips of old human wars, calling them too emotional and too violent. The ban became a trend. Some alien students even wore "No Humans Allowed" t-shirts as a joke. The council said it was about galactic safety. But the galaxy didn't care. Everyone laughed and moved on. To them, humans were a small, angry species who couldn't handle peace. They were seen as backward, loud, and always fighting. But they didn't know the truth. Far away from the shining lights of the council, on the edge of known space, a small moon orbited a dead planet. The moon was cold, silent, and forgotten. But under its surface, inside an old station built by humans long ago, something was still alive. Her name was Mira. She wasn't human. Mira was a Rauki, slim, gray-skinned, and with glowing blue eyes. She was born after the human ban and had never seen a real human before, but she didn't trust the council. Her parents had died in a council accident years ago, and she grew up learning how to hack, hide, and survive. Now she worked as a ShadowNet scavenger. She searched the galaxy's old systems, broken satellites, and abandoned stations for hidden files and forgotten truths. She didn't care about politics, until now. While searching through a blocked signal near the edge of council space, Mira found a strange file. It was hidden behind 6 layers of firewalls. It pulsed with a soft red glow. It was labeled Project EDEN, Final Arca. She hesitated. The file was protected with human coding, old, messy, but strong. Strange, she whispered. Why would this be here? She cracked the firewall. The screen blinked. Lines of human text appeared. To those who find this, know that what you've been told is a lie. Mira sat up straight. The voice that followed was human. Calm, serious, deep. This is Admiral Rourke of the Terran Unity. If you're hearing this, we are gone. Not by choice, but by betrayal. The council feared us. They feared the truth, so they erased it. Suddenly, the screen flashed. Old videos started playing. Humans saving alien civilians from collapsing buildings. Human ships shielding a peaceful planet during a pirate attack. Human scientists sharing medicine freely with sick colonies. Another clip showed a meeting room. Human leaders talking with council members. They shook hands. They smiled. But then, gunfire. Screaming. The humans fell. The council smiled again. This time, coldly. Mira's hands trembled. This can't be real. But deep inside, she knew it was. The humans didn't start the war. They didn't ask for the ban. They were set up. Suddenly, her console buzzed. Someone had detected her signal. Council tracers. Mira shut the system down and ran through the dark halls of the station. Her heart raced. She had just found something forbidden, something dangerous. The council would not let this truth escape. But Mira had already copied the files. She sat alone in a dark room, breathing hard. Her voice was soft, but her eyes burned with new fire. They laughed at the ban, but they don't know what's coming. Mira didn't sleep that night. She sat in the dark, watching the old human videos again and again. Each time, her hands shook more. Each time, the lies of the Galactic Council became clearer. The truth was heavy. The humans weren't monsters. They were heroes. Betrayed. She remembered the Admiral's last words in the file. They feared what we stood for. They feared what we could become. So they erased us. Her mind raced. Why did no one know this? Why were humans made to look like monsters? Why was the truth buried so deep? The answers were scary. Because the lie was powerful. And, if the truth came out, the whole galaxy would change. In the Outer Rim, the Council's information station picked up a trace. It was weak, but real. Unauthorized access detected. The system beeped. High above in a grand black tower on Council Prime, an alien known only as Director Vec received the alert. He had skin like dry bark and eyes like burning coals. A signal from Sector 93, he hissed. He turned to a shadow beside him. Send a hunter drone. Whoever found that file must be silenced. The shadow nodded and disappeared. Back on the cold moon, Mira packed quickly. She knew they were coming. Council agents didn't ask questions. They didn't send warnings. They erased. With her small data chip hidden in a pendant around her neck, Mira powered up her old ship. The engines groaned, but they lit up. Just hold together for one more trip, she whispered. Her eye assistant, a small floating orb made cricks, blinked to life. Where to, Captain? She took a deep breath. Not where. Who? I need to find someone who still believes in humans. Cricks pulse red. That's dangerous. Most people don't even say the word human anymore. She stared ahead. That's why I have to. A few light years away, in a broken station floating near a gas giant, lived a man named Juno Thatch. He was old, with a long white beard and a metal arm. His station was filled with junk, broken weapons, rusted ships, and cracked data pads. To strangers, he was a crazy collector, a nobody. But to a few, he was something more. He was a memory keeper. He still believed in the humans. When Mira's ship landed on his dock, he raised an old plasma rifle. No visitors. Go away. Mira stepped out slowly, hands up. I found something. About Earth. About the ban. The rifle lowered a little. Juno's eyes narrowed. Say that again. Mira took the chip from her pendant. She placed it gently on the table. He looked at it for a long moment. Then he plugged it in. The room was silent as Admiral Rourke's message played again. Juno didn't blink. When it ended, he stood up and locked the door. How did you find this? I was scavenging, just like usual. Juno sat down. He looked tired, but behind his eyes, something lit up. You don't know what you've done, girl. Mira frowned. I just found the truth. Juno leaned forward. No, you found a fire, one the council tried to bury. If that truth spreads, there will be war. Again. Mira looked confused. Then why hide it? Don't people deserve the truth? Juno's voice was low. They do, but the council has eyes everywhere, and they kill to protect the lie. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Juno froze. No. Outside, a dark shape appeared. It was a hunter drone. Sleek, silent, deadly. Its eyes glowed red as it scanned the station. They tracked you, Juno whispered. He ran to a secret wall panel and pulled out a dusty case. Inside was an old human plasma cannon, ancient but still humming with power. Mira grabbed her pistol. Will it fight us? Juno looked grim. No, it'll destroy the whole station. As the drone locked on, Mira ran to her ship. Juno followed. The engines roared to life as the drone opened fire. Blue plasma slammed into the dock. Fire spread. Metal melted. But Mira's ship burst through the flames and shot into space. The station exploded behind them, pieces falling into the gas giant below. Inside the ship, Mira panted. Her hands gripped the controls tight. Juno sat beside her, breathing hard. He looked at the stars ahead and said just one thing. If you're going to share that truth, we'll need more than words. We'll need allies.